South Bay Families Connected.
Our story kind of begins when our oldest was 6 months old and we found out we were pregnant with twins. And it was quite a shock because twins actually don't run in our family. The twins came right on time. Everybody looked healthy. When my twins were about 4 days old, we found out that my daughter had to have surgery. And it was a type of surgery that's fairly common with Down syndrome. So we had all sorts of genetic testing done on my daughter, and she came out clear, and she had her little surgery, and she came out even stronger. She's the toughest little cookie I know. And so we brought the twins home eventually, and they grew, but around 6 months, we realized that her twin brother, Jack, was not meeting his milestones. And this was a little alarming to us because we knew that regardless of him being a boy or a girl, as they say, sometimes boys don't reach them on time, we knew that it was something different. Around the 2-year mark was when we really noticed that something was wrong. And we had genetic testing done on Jack. And we found out that Jack has something called Fragile X syndrome, which is the highest form of intellectual disabilities and autism, mostly in boys. And so, as you can imagine, as a parent with 3 young kids in the South Bay, this was a shock. And every hope or vision that you plan for your child is slowly slipping away. You don't know if he'll ever be the person that you imagine that he would be. And aside from that, you also think about his siblings and how this is going to affect them and how it's going to affect us as a family. And we were very apprehensive of letting people know what Jack had. And I feel like this is a common thing with parents with kids with special needs, because if it's something that doesn't truly affect his everyday life, do we really want to put a stigma on him? What we found is that communication is key. And letting our community know that Jack had Fragile X syndrome and letting people know that he had a harder time doing particular things was amazing. And we found that this community embraced us, and it became this amazing, warming thing. It wasn't just us against the world trying to find a solution for Jack anymore. The whole community was helping us. We are so blessed to have the resources to help these children grow. Early intervention in the South Bay is incredible. And I mean, I could rattle off all the things that we have learned, but particularly the Learning Academy at the preschool is incredible. Jack started there nonverbal, and now he can hold a conversation with you. And he was there and he didn't know how to jump properly, and now he can swing a baseball bat. I mean, these are incredible things that this community has helped us with. And I know that it'll continue, and I look forward to seeing everything that we can all do together.
You did it!
After finding out Jack's diagnosis, it was obviously a shock to us, and we had to figure out how to live this new life that we were just given. And it was hard. It was very hard. But we slowly found out that, or quickly found out, I should say, that we were actually the lucky ones. Jack taught my husband and I more patience and compassion than we could have ever imagined, but not just to us, to his siblings. His brother Nolan can tell any child, or any adult for that matter, that things may be a little bit hard for his brother, but he can do it. He just has to try a little bit harder. I actually saw him say this to a tennis coach, because we found that Jack should not be given boundaries. He can do these things. So we put Jack in tennis with his brother and sister, and you know, he had a rough time his first lesson. He did. And I saw Nolan walk up to the coach and tell him, you know, it's hard for him at first, but he'll get it. He gets it. You just have to give him time. And to have a 6-year-old say that to an adult that he doesn't even really know that well is just amazing. And Jack has empowered all of us to be able to teach one another that compassion and empathy is important, and it's part of life, and honestly, it's not a life to live without compassion or empathy. A great way of helping your kids understand, your child who does not have special needs, understand compassion and empathy would be to, for example, show them, you know, you're really, really good at baseball, but sometimes swimming can be really hard for you. And just like that, kids with special needs, they could be really good at one thing. For example, they can hear supersonic sounds. They're like superheroes in that regard. But sometimes sitting down in circle time is a little bit hard for them because they got the wiggles. So things like this, you know, just trying to show them that everybody's a little bit different. We all have our talents and we all have our quirks. So things can be just slightly different for everybody. It's just a great way of them understanding that, you know, not everybody's the same, but that's okay. So kids, here's a way that you can help practice compassion and empathy. If you see a friend of yours or a little kid at the park or at school having a tough time, you can go up to them and ask them if they need help. Or if you see them trying to throw a ball, you can teach them. You can teach them how to step, plant, and throw. You can show them the steps, and it might take them a few times, but you can be their teachers as well. And they will love that. They will love that you've approached them and that you are showing them and teaching them how to do these things just like any little kid can do. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful that you, as their peer, as their friend, can do this for them and with them. And I guarantee that you will make new friends because everybody can be a little bit different, but we're all the same. We all have a beating heart. We all have feelings, and we all just want to be friends and have friends. And in my eyes, that's how we can use compassion and empathy to help keep South Bay families connected.
South Bay Families Connected.